Hi everyone, it's Tess from teachwithtess.com, and today I thought I would do a video all about my first year at Wales English. So here on my channel you'll find out about ESL teaching online, Wales English most definitely, and of course now working from home, which I'm doing. So this year has been quite something. We are currently, when are we? We're the 6th of November 2020. So this year, probably the better it gets, the faster it goes, the better it is. It's been the year of COVID, it's been the year of change, it's been a year of real hardship for many people. And for me, it's been my first year with Wales English, and I am so grateful that I found them last November before this whole thing kicked off, and that I've managed to make this a job that I can live on. So I just thought I'd go through the main things I've been considering and share with you the journey I've been on over this year. And I would love to hear in the comments below your thoughts on this, if you have any questions about it. And of course, as always, feel free to like my video and subscribe to my channel so you get notified of my weekly content. Anyway, first thing I'm going to talk about is job satisfaction, because actually I think at the end of the day it's one, along with pay, which is going to be the next one, it's the most important thing for me. I've managed to find in Wales a company that's given me the security, and both as far as my kids that I teach are concerned and the money that I earn, it's given me a certain security that I really didn't expect from online teaching because of its format of regular classes. I have now been teaching some of my kids for 11 months, and it's so nice to see them because they've obviously gone through the first 30 weeks on one course and they're renewing, and I'm also teaching kids that I taught to read, and they're now reading confidently or more confidently, and you just get to know them, you get to know how they learn, how they are, their favourite toys, their favourite sports, how much they love cake or whatever it may be, and you get to know the parents, and the whole thing adds up to something that is just wonderful. And having been a teacher in bricks and mortar schools, and having worked in companies as well and schools doing other things, I really thought I'd miss this connection, and I found it here. It's quite interesting. It's really probably my favourite thing about Wales is that we have these kids that we see through potentially for years if they decide to renew with us. The other thing that I love, as I've said before, as far as job satisfaction is concerned, is that Wales gives you a link to them via your TC over in Beijing. So my lovely TC Sophie, she's my saviour on many occasions when I have questions or problems or whatever. She's always there, and that is really helpful. It sort of decreases the stress levels, I'd say, to know that you can reach out to somebody. It's also introduced me to a ton of amazing people. You know, we might not actually meet each other physically, but via the Facebook groups and also the Wales Teacher Talk videos that I've done and the webinars that we do for training and all this sort of stuff, we actually get to know each other a lot. That's awful English. We get to know each other very well. That's better. And it's lovely. Very supportive group of teachers. And that for me, I think, combination of having wonderful kids, having a great community, having pretty good curriculum. It's not perfect, but it's really not bad at all. And of course the pay all add up for me to be something really positive. So I'm going to go on to pay too. So I'm now going to talk about how much I've earned this year. I did a couple of videos on this before. I did my first sort of how much you can earn, and then I also did how much I made in my first 5 months. I'm not going to break it down in this video into how I earn a month's salary, because there are lots of little bits at Wales. You get bonuses and you get this, you get that. This is the overall amount that I have earned in the first year at Wales. Are you ready? Here it is. Can you see that? $25,738, which I think is not bad considering the very first few months it was pretty poor stuff. There wasn't that much. I think my first month I made about 300 and something, and the second 900 and something. Now I have to add to that, that is not all teaching income, because I do other stuff for Wales, which is another thing that I really like about them. I have made video content for them in the past, and I deliver webinars for them on recruiting and referring, and of course I also do referring myself. So that is my overall income with everything added up. So I'm really pleased with that. You know, I think it's that allows me to live at home. I have my youngest daughter who's back from uni because of COVID. You know, she's with me. I can look after us. I can pay my bills, pay my mortgage. Thank you, Wales. So the income, I would say, has been pretty good. I'm hoping it will stay like that, possibly increase. It depends on various factors. So I just wanted to share with you how much I've earned in that first year. Remember, it's not 12 months actually, because I don't have a November income for that yet. That would make it 12 months. So that's actually 11 months to be more precise. But it gives you an idea of what, hopefully it'll be another 3,500 or whatever next month. So I just wanted to add one more thing to this whole review of Wales over the year, and that is my pay rise, or negotiating a pay rise, because you're allowed to do that when you've been with Wales for a year. And I got sent a few weeks ago the renewal contract that they send you, which is thank you so much, we'd love to have you continue teaching, etc, etc, and you're getting exactly the same pay as you were before. Me being me, and I suggest anyone who works for Wales and who thinks and knows that they're a great teacher, respond and suggest an option. So what I did is I wrote back to them and said, thank you so much, and I really, really want to stay part of Wales. However, bullet point, bullet point, bullet point, I gave all the reasons why I thought I was worth a pay rise. And I suggested X amount per hour, and I did vary the amount according to the level of classes that I teach. Anyway, they came back and they said, we'll consider this, we'll look into it, and they did come back with it, and in fact, believe it or not, they offered me more than I actually requested. So all of that is to say that it's really, really important to believe in yourself. You're worth money. You are what makes Wales English tick, and don't ever be shy of asking for something, because you deserve it. So that's what I did. So I'm really happy now. I've now signed my contract and I'm here for another year, and I'll give you an update next year. Anyway, I thought I'd do this little bit of the video outside of my garden. Should I share it with you? It's very wintry. I haven't actually been out here. Look, isn't it beautiful though? It's just a wintry garden. Anyway, there you go. I'm going to stick that in my little review. I hope this is going to make you think about it. Never, ever, ever accept no. I don't. I always believe if you don't ask, you don't get. So what have we done? Job satisfaction and pay. Now the next thing I wanted to do is to talk about the pros of Wales English that I've seen over this year. And it's been quite a big year for Wales. There's been a lot of change, so I have my pros, but I also have my cons, most definitely. Now the pros for me are what we've just seen, the income, definitely the community, definitely the curriculum. I'm now teaching higher level readers, literature, and it's fantastic to be able to dive into these sort of books and teach books like Charlotte's Web over 4 or 5 lessons with students who engage so much. It's so exciting. And then on the other side of that, I teach these little 3-4-year-olds who are learning to read, and the whole thing gives a real variety of lessons that I teach, of kids that I have in my classroom. It's just fantastic. It's really great. I love that. The other thing I'd say is the opportunities I've had. Now, Wales is not just teaching. For some of the community, some of the teachers, that's all they want to do. They see it as it's a supplementary income. They have other jobs or whatever it is, and they are, they teach, and they teach very well. For me, because I only work for Wales and because I'm in the UK, it takes up daytime hours, so I can't do anything else very easily out of my house because I haven't got time. And to be honest, because we're now again in lockdown in the UK now in November, I couldn't go anywhere anyway. Thank you for this job. Anyway, so yeah, I'd say that I'm lost. What was that? Yes, the opportunities. So I've been asked by Wales to do videos for them. I've said that I have done a few, but because I've got my own channel, I think they have used other teachers more than me, which is fine. I also have been asked to do these webinars on referring and recruiting because apparently I'm one of their top recruiters. And they have, they asked me to be a coach. Is that trainer? I'm not sure what word is right. But anyway, for teachers who are struggling with the English starter course, the reading course for the little ones, I was also asked to do that, so I can potentially coach teachers to help them get their teaching slightly better for those courses. So it's not just teaching for me, and it's been such fun, and I've really enjoyed doing this. And I'm quite excited to see what other opportunities could open up in the future, maybe evaluating lessons, maybe writing or working with Wales on content. I mean, I probably won't do that, but I think there are others of you out there who would be much better at that than me. But there are things that you can do with Wales. So the other things I love, another pro, is definitely the support team. I've mentioned that, my TC, and the stability that I have. I now have 20 hours a week booked with regular classes, and sometimes I open Saturdays. Now I don't do it so much. There was a time I was working 6-7 days a week. I really don't want to do that anymore. I need some time to myself. So if I work on the weekend, at the weekend, I just open flexible slots. But yeah, it gives me, I know how much I'm going to earn because I teach 20 hours a week, and sometimes things can change and kids can cancel or parents can cancel, whatever. But in general, I know what I'm going to earn. Because you're committing to 30 weeks worth of teaching when you take on a regular class, Wales does give you holidays. You can have 2 long leave holidays and then 4 short, which is sort of 1 or 2 days per year. So it does allow you to take time off, and they also give you emergency leave, but that is not an infinitive amount. So I think those are the pros, and now I'm going to come to the cons. Now, I said that Wales has changed. It has changed. It's definitely growing. You know, it's asked us recruiters for Wales to find new teachers because it wants more teachers because it's growing. Now that's fine. I would say the problem is that Wales have decided to reduce certain bonuses, which have left some of the teachers really upset, i.e. it's harder now to get the full attendance bonus. You're required to teach more hours, and yet at the same time, if parents cancel, then you have only 0.5 of the hour that counts towards your bonus. So it's really not that fair because they're doing well, they're getting better, and we're penalised for that. That for me is a big con. I think I've had my own business. You look after the people who work for you, whether or not they're employed, and they will give back. Now I think, you know, as having said that, we're lucky we've got jobs. Teachers of Wales, we've all got jobs, and it might mean that we're not getting as much, but we're having something. So, you know, yes, it's a con. I don't like it. But at the same time, I know I've got a regular income and I manage to supplement my basic pay with other things. So that's definitely a con. For some other people as well, the commitment, you see, I see that as a pro, the fact that we have these 30-week courses. For some people that might be a con because there are people out there who want flexible work, who can just shut slots down or open them on a weekly basis. If that is the case, Wales is definitely not for you because they don't work like that. You can have some flexible slots like I do for the weekend, but in general, you're committing to X amount of time. And if you decide you want to take a last minute day off or something, you'll be massively penalised. You can't just stop teaching a class because you don't like it. Again, you can be very heavily penalised. So, you know, you really need to be aware of that when you're opening your slots. Think of the changes in time, you know, like we've just gone to winter time now. So for the teachers in America, they've just gone back an hour as we have, but they're already teaching in the middle of the night. And so they're teaching very early in the night now, depending on their time zone. And I'm now teaching at 9 a.m. for my 5 p.m. class instead of 10, which is fine by me. It makes no difference to me. So, it's really worth thinking, what is the right company for you? Flexibility, you don't want Wales, definitely not. Other than that, I don't really have any. The platform, I remember whinging about that in one of my previous videos. It's much, much better now. I never have any problems with the teaching material and the platform, which is wonderful, because you don't want that. So another thing I was going to share with you is health. Working from home, being with Wales, or any online company, to be honest. Working from home, teaching, I teach 4 hours a day, and it has affected my health in a way. I recently did a video with a group of teachers from Wales, and we talked about wellbeing, and it's a very interesting subject for online teachers and potentially just people who work online anyway. So the things I was thinking about were most definitely, when I started off at Wales, I was teaching in my bedroom. Now, my bedroom is an average sized bedroom, but I had a little desk, a little sort of boudoir type thing, which was too low, and a chair that was uncomfortable. And within a few months, very quickly, I started having terrible back pain. And every time I finished teaching, I had to go and lie down for half an hour just for my back to go and get straight and flat and feel better again. And that carried on for 10 months. And then very recently, I moved into, I'm going to show you around it actually. I'm going to show you around. There you go. See, I had this was a room that we hardly ever used. I've got a window knocked in because it was very dark in here. And I've got this amazing desk, you see. This is my wonderful up and down desk. I'm going to show you that in more detail. And that has changed my life. Honestly, sorry, let me put you back again. It really has. This room, I'm very, very privileged. I'm aware of that, but I've managed to have a space that I now call my office, because I've decided that I'm very unlikely to go and work anywhere else at my age now. So my work will forever be here at home. So I wanted to make sure I had the best possible chance of not having backache all the time and of not feeling terrible. So I now teach standing up, and it's revolutionized my health, my well-being, how I feel about teaching, because I can be active. It actually makes your lessons really, for me, I find them far more fun because you can move around, you can do lots of TPR and jumping, and it's really easy to do rather than sitting. So finding something that can make you comfortable is actually really important. For a while I was using my ironing board and a box. That worked, because I couldn't afford to buy a desk, but I thought, I'm just gonna jump in on this one. And I did, and I'll put something up on my YouTube channel about this because it is really great. So there's that. The other thing I found, that I put on weight because I'm not doing enough exercise, because I'm the sort of person who just sits down and works and works and works and works, and then you've suddenly done 12 hours and the day's gone. So I wasn't doing as much exercise. I was eating because I'm sitting at home all the time. The kitchen is just there. So I've sort of tried to do something about that. My sleep when I was working up in my bedroom was terrible. You try going to go to bed, you may well do this, but I'd get into bed and I'd look, and at the bottom of my bed was my computer and my desk and my teaching space, and it's just like, ugh. When I was lying in bed, I felt like I had to get up because my office was just there. That wasn't great. That I really struggled with. So yes, I'm so grateful that I've now got a clear, defined space from where I sleep and where I work. So just from that, I think that's all I'm going to say about health. But working from home, you have to make more effort, I think. You have to. I now have a friend who comes over. Well, she was before lockdown. And we do 3 times a week. We just say, this is stop. Let's do exercise. And I've been doing stuff on my back because it's still a problem. And I've been doing much more care, I think. I've looked after myself. I've decided to lower my own stress levels because I put myself under so much pressure to do well, to do the best I can, to prep everything to the nth degree, all my recruiting, my YouTube channel, everything. It's a lot of work. And I just thought, and all the courses I'm doing, because I do various courses on YouTube content, on teaching and all sorts of stuff. I'm an avid learner, which is great. But you need a lot of hours in the day. So I've sort of stepped back a bit now and said, you don't need to put yourself under so much pressure. So I'm sleeping better and I feel much better. But I do, if you possibly can, suggest that you find either a ball that you bouncy ball to sit on or something, or find a good high ironing board and teach standing up. It really revolutionized my teaching. So the very last thing for this video, what about 2021? Well, what are my ambitions for 2021? First of all, go away COVID. Please, just go away. Let there be a vaccination, let there be something for us so we can go back to some form of normality and people can work again and not be in the hardship they're all in at the moment. That's my number one plea for next year. But as a personal ambition, I think I would love to feel like I'm going to be able to reduce the amount of hours I'm working for Wales because I'm increasing what I'm doing online. I'm building my brand through my YouTube channel, I'm building my website, and I hope to have courses out in the next year or so to help teachers and people who want to work online and from home. So those are ambitions I have. I want to work with more referrals. I love recruiting. I absolutely love it. There is nothing more satisfying than seeing somebody and working with them so they can get into Wales and they can earn a living and they have all the opportunities I have. I think it's just really exciting. So that's something else I'd really like to do more of in 2020, and probably get fitter again. Yes, lose a bit of weight, definitely. And last of all, grow my YouTube channel. And on that note, I'm just going to say thank you for being watching this. Thank you if you are listening to me now. You've either skipped to the end or you've listened to the whole thing, and I just say thank you for that. It's been an exciting year. It really has. It's been an unusual one. It's been one that I never would have imagined. Some of the things I have done this year, I never thought I'd ever do. You tell me, 54-year-old, that I would set up a YouTube channel. I would never have believed you a year ago. But I think the moral of the story is that we have to adapt, we have to change, we have to seize opportunities and just do whatever we can to do the best we can and be the best we are. Does that make sense? I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to run because I'm teaching fairly soon. I just wanted to share that, my year at Wales English. I hope it's interesting for you. As I said, do leave comments below and please get in touch if you want to ask me anything about Wales. I'd be happy to answer. Thank you so much. Take care.